I feel like I fucking forgot something. Oh shit, double-headed battle cattle. Hello. I don't know when was the last time I saw you. To be honest, I don't see myself often these days. Oh, shouldn't say that out loud on stream. uh, Today is a very different stream. I'm gonna be reading. I will prove to all the haters that I can read after all. And I'm still getting spammed on my phone. Ever a mini probably eat the lettuce if I throw it at you. I would never fucking touch a lettuce. Yes, I'm talking to myself. I'm embracing my inner demons. I need what music can you use for reading scary stories? What's good background music for scary stories? Double-headed battle cattle. I believe in the power of the double-headed battle cattle. Summon me music to use for reading scary stories. Why am I still getting spammed? Oh my god, I'm still fucking getting spammed. Pumpkin, shut the fuck up. Let me fucking breathe. I need to stream, okay? Mind changing the song, please? Alright. I need songs for okay, I guess I'll just fucking go for spooky vibes or whatever. And then but I want no lyrics. This makes sense. Damn crazy, somebody doesn't like After Dark. After Dark is such a fucking nice song. I don't know how I feel about this fucking shit. If it hits with the spooky scary skeletons, I'm gonna cry. How much woodchuck would how much a woodchuck would chuck if a woodchuck would chuck wood? Oh fuck you. A chuck woodchuck would chuck wood. While a chuck would chuck wood. Woodchuck wood. Chuck wood. Oh, actually, this is a good fucking vibe for the stories. I love how it started like fucking 2 hours later than I usually would start stream. I don't know, which one should I read? Should I go by, okay, it is in hot. I guess I can. How long is this? Oh, for fuck's sake, that's a long story. Whatever, I guess I have to read it. How is it gonna be fucking reading it with music playing in my ears? You know the kind of town where everyone knows everyone? Where the local diner serves coffee, mugs stamped with your name, and everyone will lend a hand to a neighboring. A place where generations of families grew up together. Well, that is the sort of place where I live. Sure, it is a bit rustic. Hell, I barely have a reliable internet, but it is nice enough for us. Ellie, hello TGF. Fuck you, stop spamming. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Pepper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers? Why are you doing this to me right now? Just let me fucking read. This is the worst kind of messages you could send to me right now. Dude, it's a bit rustic. Hell, I barely have reliable internet, but it is nice enough for us. It's the kind of place where time feels like it's standing still. Except for one thing. The nights. The nights here are a little different. I've lived here all my life and there's no place I'd rather be. Or at least, that's what I used to think. This place has its quirks, like any small town, but there's a big one that stands out for us. You see, every night, without fail, at 11:38 p.m., town locks down. I'm not talking about just closing up shops and less people out and about. I'm talking about real lockdown. Doors slam shut and are barred, windows rattle and block, and everyone knows they have to be inside and stay inside. At least for what happens next. The next part is strange. No one ever sees anything out there directly, but we all just know. Just know that somehow something outside trying to get in. An eerie silence falls over this town. It's like the whole town is holding its breath. Then in 12 minutes exactly, it is just over. I've always wondered why it happens at exactly 11:30 p.m. People here don't talk about it much, but when they do, they whisper. They say it's just the way things are, that it's been happening for as long as anyone can remember. But I know better. I've seen whatever it is. The first time I noticed it, I was still pretty young. I think I was 10 or 11. I stayed up late reading some of my favorite comic books. My parents warned me, like many other kids in town, we had to go to bed early. But if we did had to get up, then absolutely no leaving the house or leaving any windows or doors open. What reliable internet? Lol, Ellie posted a story. Oh, yeah, I did. So I got distracted by reading. Daddy's on Wattpad, gonna read some smut, can't wait. Shut the fuck up. Actually, I could read smut for you if you want. Ew. um, um, I was not asleep, but I still. I was not asleep, but was still following through. When I heard about the strange sound, it was a low, guttural hum, seemed to vibrate through the walls. I looked out the window, and that's when I saw it. These were empty, but there was presence. It's hard to describe. It wasn't a person or an animal. It was something else. Something that didn't feel like it belonged. It moved with strange, jerky motion, like it wasn't entirely in control of its own body. It radiated a disturbing sense of distortion that hurt, and my eyes had a difficult time focusing. I feel like the music problem. These do kind of fit though, like as a background. Um, I could feel this overwhelming sense of hunger that made me sick. Before I knew it, it was over. It had passed my house, and I realized I had been staring out my window in a hypnotic daze. It was almost midnight, and I went to sleep and did not tell my parents about the disturbing. I didn't see it again for years, but the feeling never left. Every night at 11:38, on the dot, the town shuts down, and only this air. We all try to act like it's on, just behave like we have a strict curfew, that nothing is out there. Yet the people who are too old think that it's nothing. Well, they don't last long. Those of us who are still here know that whatever that thing is, it's out there, talking, hunting, looking for anything, an open window, a cracked door. Disappearances are especially in small towns. The police have a whole song and dance for anyone who goes missing from the outside. And when it is a resident, well, it's more of a case where the family are reprimanded for not having known better. No one knows why the window is so merciful. Almost just as suddenly as it starts, it's over. By 11:50 p.m., quiet. The town feels normal, but it's not. Never was. People here have learned. They lock their doors, shut their and pretend it's not happening. I asked my parents why we don't just move, and they never gave me a good answer. All they said was, it wouldn't do any good. We have to, and it has to be there here. It is safer for everyone if it's here. It did not make sense. I know people can get attached to places, but it felt crazy. I couldn't just pretend. Not after what I saw. Not after what I felt. There was something out there, and it was worse than anyone would believe. It was just recently that I saw it again. It was a normal night, at least as normal as nights could be in my town. I was getting ready to go to bed when I noticed that my cat, Quincy, was missing. I looked everywhere, but I couldn't find it. And I heard something through the window, what of familiar. My heart sank. It was outside. He must have gotten out when I had come earlier and was sauntering along the sidewalk, impending. Time was 11. I had no idea if this was day, but it allowed me to get out. I had never let Quincy outside before, and he did not come back without it. I had to do something dangerous to save him. I rushed outside, sprinting toward him and trying to grab him, bring him in before it was too late. I managed to reach him, but then I froze. I sensed the presence. As I was scrambling back to the floor, Quincy's stairs falling back in. I felt paralyzed, and I thought I saw it again. It was different, larger, more overwhelming than before. Presence, embarrassing, pressing the house as unseen force. I tried to run, but my legs. I was frozen in place. My breath caught. To my horror, he seemed to finally regard me. Quincy jumped out of my hands and ran back to the house. He had fortunately evaded. I've had him. Creatures had twisted unnaturally, distorted, coalescing, recognizable, staring into the grotesque visage, forced us. As I beheld the blasphemous possibility, I turned and I sprinted away, screaming like a maniac, my heart hammering such force that it felt like it might crack my chest. The sound of it echoed behind. A wet slip, jelly gliding around, deafening, shaking the ground beneath me, ran for me. I didn't know if I could get away. No one I knew had been outside and survived. I ducked into an alley, my hand shaking as I pressed myself against the wall. My breath came in short, sharp gasps, and I could feel sweat dripping down my face. I didn't dare to look around the corner, dare to move. Then I heard harrowing slice through, piercing, full of terror. My heart raced as but all I could make out were shadowy figures caught in the screams were short, sharp, then they were swallowed by the night. The deafening silence only added to the two different wings. I stayed pressed against them, trying to make myself as possible. Darkness seemed to come alive with every and rustling, amplifying my. I held my breath until I heard the sound of it, and then just like that, gone. But the eeriest, haunting, and after walks. The streets were once again quiet, but my nerves were on edge. I stumbled back to the house, every step like a time. Quincy waited anxiously at the door, holding his head. Horrible night had left me grateful. Whatever that thing is, does not belong to me. It is not on this time in the present. So much makes your mind catch a glimpse. No one can tell if of its origin. Maybe they are lost. But whatever it is, always there, lurking everywhere, without fail. At that point, I did the one thing probably everyone has done by now. I left my hometown. I moved to the largest city I could get away from it all. My parents did not approve. In fact, they tried to tell me I could not go. I was so desperate to get out of there that I had to stay. Morning, not here. I never understood why we all stayed there and tried to make all the night at home. It seemed so simple, and I felt better at first. Felt alive with the traffic, chatter of during cacophony that anonymous. I thought I'd left the nightmare behind, the creature, the memory, a relic of a past that was scary. My new apartment was cozy to the fifth floor, with a view of the bustling below, high enough now the red. Unfortunately, something happened last night, shattered the fragile illusion. On the first night in London, I sat on the edge of my bed, flipping through a magazine, track my the clock on the nightstand read 11:20. I told myself I was being paranoid, that the creature was gone, that I was safe enough. But the weight of the past shadow in the corner. By 11:38 p.m., the outside my window really quiet. The usual sounds of traffic, replaced by unknown. I tried to focus on my eyes or the window. Darkness was eyes. Stop. My heart skipped a beat. I froze. The magazine's sound was light, almost pressed, but it sent told myself nothing. Paranoid. Then it came again. Another time. Time more. I didn't. I didn't. My eyes were. The darkness was alive. Tapping stopped. For a moment, there was nothing but silence. Then a faint scratching, claws on glass. My heart sank. I knew that sound. What it meant. Slowly, with my legs, my hand, curtain. What I saw me there, hurt, fires, size, present, pressing in on me. I tried to scream, but the sound caught in my creature's head tilted aside. Sunlight. I felt a wave of dread wash over me. It was he. Had
シグマシグマボジ、シグマボジシグマボジカツダーデブコンカホセットタンスベートスタボジシグマシグマボジ、シグマボジシグマボジ。
my eyes dry out. And then, as if in slow motion, its mouth opened, revealing rows of teeth. And it let out a low, guttural, not a growl. The sound shattered the paralysis that held me in place. I stumbled back, my voice finally, a raw, terrified scream. Creature's form seemed blurred and shifted. Presence grew, darkness, then everything went black. I regained consciousness, And I know it's not over. There is no escape from it. Always. I consider what my parents as then dawn for it is safer for everyone. If they did not mean it was safer for us. They meant it was safer for everyone else. They knew the danger. They, now in my somehow it has followed me to a place where over 1 million about it, maybe more. It moves beyond that. It didn't for your well, I've been 50 by now. It might not be forever. Anyway, so it's devastating. Holy shit, the story was so long. Hello, now that I finished that story, I might as well, like, how is it, Shimbe? How do you do, Shimbe? How is your stuff? How is Marvel Rivals? Also, meow. I'm almost finished with my coffee. I have food. Oh, I didn't even get called. I thought they would call me. Oh shit, nice. Good. Glad to hear it. Anyway. You can enjoy yourself, you fucking fat bitch. Anyway, seems like nobody actually wants to talk to me. I guess I'm gonna have to read another story. Fucking bad. Post is awaiting moderator approval. Okay, it's called soap. Yeah, I bet if it's called soap, I bet what it's about. Oh. Oh my god. As I scrubbed my body with the soap in the prison shower, the vigorous slippery tension made the soap shoot out of my hand into the corner of the shower block. No biggie. I'll just go pick it up. As I bent down to pick it up, I heard someone clapping behind me, but not with their hands. Yo, I get why it's getting approved by moderator. Somebody just fucking dropped the troll post and thought nobody will notice. Oh, that's fucking perfect. Stinky Spinkies war crimes tier list, man. Stinky Spinkies. Bro, I would have to make the stream on the dark web. You can't talk about Tinky Swinkies and not expect the government to shut you down. Just mentioning his name is considered a terrorist act. Holy shit, this one is long. Do I fucking read this? I cured my insomnia and regretted it. Does anyone have a specific story they want me to read? Also, I feel these songs are not as creepy as I'd want. Yes. Guess what? Yes, you want me to read this, or yes, you have a specific story you want me to read. I'm not fucking reading Princess Potty Train. Oh, what? Oh no, wait. Okay, I'm waiting. No, please. What? I want. What do you want? TGF, I'll turn you into a horror victim. TGF, how would you like to be a victim in your personal horror story? You're getting hunted by a femboy that's thirsty. How about that? You go on the plane and Finky Swinky is a motherfucker just clapping in cockpit and with his skirt while flying into World Trade Center. Nah, that would be insane. Oh, wait. No, shut the fuck up. I'm not reading I Want My Body. I'm reading horror stories. I mean, it's just a horror story in a different way. Wait, that's a good story. Would love it. You would love a horror story about getting hunted down by thirsty fanboy. Yeah, bet. I'll fucking do that for you. 100%. I guess I'm gonna read this like Cured by Insomnia. Let me see what else. Like Eyes in the Dark. Eyes in the dark. It's not too late. You give love a bad name. Fanboy Ghost or something on Steam. I'm not gonna play that. You can have which one of your cringe ass viewers made that their name? You don't need Oshimbe. You don't need to know. Hey, what's up, Anybit? What the fuck is this shit? I'm just reading. I'm just reading scary stories on Reddit. What did you think I was gonna do? I didn't feel like gaming today. I feel like I feel very burnt out. Why not? Why wouldn't I? Why is it a bad thing that I'm reading creep? No, the thing is, right, I just don't feel like gaming, so I'm just doing the next best thing, and that's reading. Dog Ningen, as in dog man. Yeah, fan fiction, brother. The whole fucking manga is basically fan fiction. Varum. So no gaming. Why did you have to just be engaged? Shut the fuck up. I will throw you off a bridge. Twinkle, twinkle, little whore. I'ma throw you off a fucking 12-story floor. Anyway, you are either satisfied with read the furry visual novel. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you any bit. I will go to Singapore, and I will murder you. And yes, before murdering you, I will use your body for my own pleasure. Okay? Shut the fuck up. Ain't no furry in here. Dude, you can make me flyable. Yeah, but this is the thing. I can't even read fucking scary stories online without you guys being fucking horny. Where is the furry content? See, I would have played Red Dead Redemption today, right? But I didn't really feel like gaming. I'm gonna play Red Dead Redemption tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, and then on Thursday, hopefully, play Civilization. Hopefully, I don't know when Civilization comes out exactly, but I will play Red Dead. I just didn't want to game today, and like, okay, if I'm not gaming, I have options, right? And when I mean I have options, I don't. So I can either like sing, or I can do some other random shit. So I decided today I'm gonna read. So I'm gonna read. I kind of like reading though. I enjoy reading. You're a problem. I'd rather not have you. Read horror stories? Okay. The question is, right, is there like, if at any moment there's a preference of what Reddit story you want me to read, just tell me. Right now I'm just reading whatever. So if you have a good horror story in mind, just let me know. Well, I say good. It doesn't have to be good. As long as it's a horror story, I'll read it. I want my party. Don't pee your bed again. Okay. I'll just read this one, I guess. It's long, but whatever. For as long as I can remember, I've always had trouble sleeping. I was a teenager by the time I realized it wasn't normal to lay awake for 2 or 3 hours before finally falling asleep. And even then, I only sleep for a couple of hours. I tried everything to ease my condition. I've tried melatonin, sleeping pills, exercise, alcohol, marijuana, white noise, warm milk, sensory deprivation, therapy, Ambien, hypnosis, magnesium supplements, valerian root, changing diet, Ativan, yoga, hot baths, ice baths, the list goes on and on. Most things didn't work at all, and the few that did would result in me not getting rest. I've had doctors look me over and paid way too much for a battery of tests to identify a cause. Nothing was ever found, so I almost gave up and accepted that I would be tired forever. However, a while ago, finally I found something that helped. Started keeping a notepad on my nightstand, my bed. I would write down whatever I was thinking about, letting my thoughts flow onto the page. First time I tried it, I settled in bed, the pen and paper, and started writing whatever came to mind. I'm in bed. The fuck? Hi, I'm in bed. I want. I wish I could find out what it's like to sleep. That was the first thing I wrote. Then I was waking up the next morning, refreshed for the first time I could remember in my life. I actually cried a little once. I realized I had slept for 8 full hours. If that seems like an overreaction, I never suffered from a severe long-term insomnia. I looked back over the notebook after I calmed down a bit, to see what all I had written. I remember the first sentence. There was a little more after that. I hear a voice in the void. It is screaming. I can hear you. I didn't think too much of it, chalking it up to rambling of a man on the edge of somnolence, but it did creep me out a little. However, I didn't think about it on that as I went through the day. What the fuck? What the fuck is what? Oh. Yeah, Shimbi, you haven't been a part of the chat in a while. It's even weirder now. It just gets more deranged the longer it goes on. I might have to end it all soon. The next night, I settled in, and I settled in. I started jotting. Okay, I settled in and started jotting on the pad. Will this work again? I hope I dreamed this time. I woke up the next morning after that feeling even better than I had the first time. I had a dream of an endless range of beautiful mountains that I was flying through. It was the most beautiful experience of my life. I looked over the pad to see if there would be any more stairs writing, and I was not disappointed. I enjoyed the dream. I was more than a little rattled by it. It was so simple that I could easily miss it, but it stuck in my mind like a splinter. I wrote about it all that day, unable to shake the cancerous thought. I kept telling myself that I had written it on the edge of sleep and probably felt the dream coming on. It was probably something I wrote while on the edge of consciousness, and I just wanted to tell myself to enjoy the experience. I mean, I did enjoy it immensely. I think it was the first dream I had ever had. Still, felt a little unnerved by it. Okay, now there's music with lyrics. Does anybody have like a creepy songs playlist that doesn't have lyrics in the background because the lyrics ruin the vibe? Her voice is doing ungodly things to me. Yeah, this ain't weird, Lamau. It's many other things. Read it loudly. Search white noise. One want me to fall asleep or something. White noise 3 hours long. But it's like is night white noise like music or something like that, you know? I feel like here we go. Finally a good streamer to keep on the background all 100% areas, and you know what's great? Today's stream is legit like a background stream. Because I just literally am reading creepypasta on Reddit. With like I'm trying to find good creepy music to have in the background while I read. But I don't know if white noise like sets the mood. I want like creepy music, you know? Shit that's like somewhat creepy. Ellie, how you can't read? I will fucking show you. I will make you eat those words. The only reason like I don't keep going right now is because I need better music, okay? So like give me ideas. So I got hit with white noise, but white noise is ass. How does it even sound? Actually, maybe it's good. I won't be a voice actor. Black noise? No, no, no. There's no such thing as black noise, is there? There is. Actually, wait, is it? Oh my god, there is. Wait, there is. Tensor horror? How much? Yeah, that doesn't seem like a thing. Yeah, but black noise is exactly kind of what I want. It kind of works because it's like, it's not completely empty, but hey, where the fuck was I? Yeah, super smart, good girl. Um, I settled back into my bed for the third night and pulled out the notepad and pen. I took a few deep breaths and let my thoughts wander, really from my head to the page. I loved the dream last night. I've never felt this good in my entire life. The weird messages are a little, but I shouldn't let it get to me. That night I dreamed of laying in my backyard, staring up at the stars, twinkling like eye shards in the sky. My fire pit was crackling, lazily next to me. I couldn't see it from my position, but I could actually feel the warmth safeguarding me. It wasn't as exciting as flying around the mountain in this dream, but I didn't mind that. It was peaceful. I woke up and looked at a notepad, wondering what strange note I had left myself this time. Don't let it unnerve you. Watch the stars. You'll soon walk among them. The piece of the dream faded immediately. I read that final sentence. Something sinister about that. Couldn't place my finger on. Walk among the stars? What the hell did that mean? I felt a strange sense of foreboding for the rest of it. I work at a warehouse as a certified forklift operator. Don't you dare me with that. Which means my mind has plenty of opportunities to wander as in trucks, magnet, designated. The whole day, I kept wondering why that final message kept coming up with nothing. I was still adjusting to all extra energy providing me, so I wasn't ready to stop using it. Got home and actually felt energetic enough to nice, myself a nice dinner of pan-seared pork chop, fried apple, and onion slices. Then deglazed the pan with chicken stock and added brown mustard as well as butter to savory topping. It was exquisite, and by the time I finished eating, all my anticipation had drained away. A recipe. Milk is stupid. I got it in bed and reached for my pen and notepad, jotting down whatever came into my mind. I've decided I'm going to stop stressing for myself. It's worth it to have a good night's sleep. I wonder what weird messages for myself tonight. That's as much as I remember writing. I had another dream, standing in front of me, but the reflection was as if I was trying to look for a fix. The result was a dark silhouette standing in the mirror, leaning closer, leaning closer, and she was transfixed in the reflection, curious as to what it looked like, but unable to clearly make it out. I reached the hand to my face, rubbed my chin, and thought. It jolted awake as the figure suddenly waved a hand of its own volition. My heart was pounding and I sat upright and felt a pang of dread as I bad. The message this time obliterated any chance. They're not from yourself. I didn't use the notepad that night. I just lay there, scared to sleep, no matter how desperate. I wanted to. Fortunately, I had become acclimated regularly. The exhaustion I felt as I watched the night throughout my turned from back to worse than it ever been. I almost called into work, forced myself to go through them. I started feeling dumb, realizing I was being paranoid. I had cost myself the perfection of a night's rest, purchased miserable instead. It was a fool's bargain, and I decided I would my feelings aside. I was still afraid of what these meant. I was more afraid to go back to the hell that takes night fight. I got into my bed and picked up the pen, hesitating only a moment, imagining the final message. Took the thoughts from my head. This is ridiculous. I'm myself. I'm leaving. There's no other explanation. I'm done with being afraid. It was short and sweet, right to the point. I felt my eyes grow heavy as I was barely able to finish that last word, and the ocean of sleep pulled me heavenly waves. Yet those heavenly waves were on the depths of hell itself. I was in some sort of dark cavern, the only light coming from guttering torches planted in the stone floor. They were scattered all about the enormous space, created around some throne with a dark figure sitting on it. It was hard to focus on the figure. His body was twisting. I could see it covered in chains. I held myself onto the great stone chair, like a current pulling me inexorably along. No matter how hard I kicked against it, I stood before the throne and I could feel the creature staring at me, though I wasn't even sure if it had eyes. I felt my hand reach out and I was surprised to see it. The figure gestured at the lock resting. I didn't want to unlock it, feeling what flow of malevolence brought upon me. The bowed power lock popped open, loud click. And then my eyes opened. I was laying in my bed. I was covered in sweat and shivering. I could see the notepad sitting threatening aura I had felt emanating on the throne. I was shaking hand, picked it up and read the news. You are my bridge now. You are my dream. The throne. I had been convincing myself, rambling. I was suffering from paranoia, but I decided something horrible. I threw the notepad across the room, feeling tears well up in my eyes. I felt sick, but didn't get out of bed. I went downstairs to make coffee and fought the twin urge to put all of this out of my mind, trying to make sense of it. Both attempts. I was also horrified to see for 12 hours. This is the longest I'd ever slept in my life. Decided then I would not be again. If I was doomed to never sleep a day again, so be it. I'd rather die exhausted than let that thing milk and cheese. I went through my day as normal, doing my laundry, shopping for as the banality of the day dragged on. I felt that my body began to ease a little. After all, life would continue as it had before the notepad. It may not be pleasant, it would be familiar. Unfortunately, that night I experienced a felt it as the day degraded into chill, strange heaviness around my eyes. What the feeling of midnight and confided no down in my spine then caused the laying on the floor where I had if I had the energy, would have gotten up. I couldn't have left my bed if my house had been on fire. The mountain dread did nothing but drowsiness down darkness, city, thoughts were dark blank. After a while I began to see pinpricks of light in darkness, confused myself. But there they were. Tiny, inky, so it was nostalgia. And by my side, so it was hard to make out. It was the smoke figure walking, spoke to me, spoke to me. It was my own voice. But the thing had hijacked it to communicate. Kneel before me, shall walk among the stars. Suddenly the stars winked out and crowded darkness. For a moment there was, but then only for a couple. Suddenly I was on. My skin was burning and I tried to scream, but the silence persisted as I was till my muscles shook, twisting me into a position, quiver in agony. Things spoke again. I will stand against me, and you shall burn. I woke up on the floor next to me. I must have been thrashing around in my sleep because my blankets were twisted around me. Absolute horror. The notepad was next to me. In large words that were hastily sharpie. I am near. I looked at the clock and saw I had slept for 14 hours. I called into my job and explained to my boss that I was sick. It wasn't exactly. I wasn't happy, but accepted the explanation. Spent the day shopping for supplies for. I was going to fight it. Try everything to avoid me for it. I bought coffee and energy drinks, enough to give a rhino a heart attack. Hell, I'd have bought I did. Hell, I'd have bought cocaine if I knew where to get drugs. I can hook you up, bro. I got home, and even though the sun was settling, I could feel the same sensation of exhaustion creeping into my body. Sat on my couch and began drinking caffeine I could. Didn't seem to help, and anger began to see. I stormed upstairs and grabbed the damn notepad, went into my backyard and burned it. As the flames devoured the notepad, I thought of the dream where I had fire and shuddered. Couldn't shake the recognition of how similar that burning my skin dream. Still, after the notepad was reduced to ash, I felt a little better. I went back inside and continued watching. I glanced at the clock every so often, nothing. Nothing the slow passage of time. No shower felt like another victory, and before long I was watching the sun dissolve. I had made it. I felt a bittersweet happiness, longing to feel the rest I had felt when I first used the note. But I decided Lyric victory was better than a loss. I got dressed and headed to work, attempting to return to some routine. I felt less and less tired as I went, driving my forklift about the warehouse. As I worked, my boss yelled my name and waved me down. Got off the forklift and feeling better? Yeah, I think so. Good. We need all hands right now. Next time, if you're not going to be able to make it, make sure to call earlier. Gives me time to line up another driver on the schedule to cover your spot. Yes, sir. Sorry about that. That's alright. Try to be better about it. The reason I waved you down, though, is someone in the front office. You. Important. Felt a little confused. Started heading there. Truthfully, I didn't have any idea who it could be, considering I don't socialize with anyone. That's not an exaggeration. I don't have friends. I don't go out. I don't have any living family. My existence is solitary. A result of my insomnia makes it impossible to talk to people for any other reason than necessity. By the time I reached the office, my mind was racing. Walked in and saw the receptionist of the company who was talking on the phone and held up a single finger, silently mouthing the words, "One moment." I took a seat on one of the chairs against the wall. They waited for her. She hung up the phone after a while and loud to me, "Sorry to keep you waiting. There's a man to see you in the conference room." I nodded my appreciation and short walk to the conference room. I walked in and screamed as I saw what was on the other side of the door. The conference room was gone. In its place was the dark cavern with the throne. The unchained, smoke shrouded figure stood up as I walked in, grew taller as I did so. I turned to run, but the door had vanished behind me, collapsed to the ground, gasping for air as the fire began to. Thing slowly walked towards me, dark form vanishing, wreath of flames from my skin. I heard it speak, this time in a voice that sounded like stone, one stone mixed with the crackle of fire. I have arrived, love. I woke up in my bedroom, my whole body aching, my eyes adjusted. I feel like I'm talking into my mic. Wait, is it not loud enough? I can turn it up. Um, because I don't really want to fucking, you know, breathe into my microphone. I feel like that's kind of weird. Try to not loud and it's cutting up some of your words. Oh, maybe when I speak. Great, now you gave me a side quest. Now you fucking gave me a side quest. Please breathe in. Oh my god. I basically have it in my mouth. If this is not gonna be loud enough now, I don't know what is. I'm literally speaking into it. I'll still fucking turn it up a little bit. Can I put Pumpkin in a cage? You know what? No, you can put Pumpkin in a cage for 5 minutes. He kind of deserves it. I'll push the level up a little bit. My settings. Is this better? Or is this the same? Fuck me, it looks more or less the same. What is fucking with my sound option? Oh fuck. Okay, 50 is not good enough. Okay, this should be good. I just need to not be excited about it. Don't want to bust someone's eardrum. Okay. Where Pumpkin gone? 5-ish minutes because I'm lazy. That's fair. Okay. Now she's gonna spam me. Enjoy your little break. Need to put the phone away further. The message was scrolled over and over again. My heart was beating in my ears, and I screamed aloud in frustration. I checked my phone and I saw I had been asleep for almost 2 days. I know this will be my last few moments of consciousness. I don't know how I know that, but I do. I know that I have a choice to make. I've become convinced that the entity doing this to me is the devil, or some kind of demon. It is something of pure evil. If it comes through into our world, it will bring about the end of everything. I don't know, is this better, Chime? I turned up the gain, allegedly, and also pushed the microphone closer. Obviously, now I'm trying to fucking be more calm about it because if I get fucking excited, I'm gonna burst someone's eardrum. I don't know why this has happened to me. I'm not sure that matters anymore. I have to choose if I'm going to kneel and damn everyone to this thing's machinations or pick the other option. I wanted to send out this last message to the world I hardly ever spoke to. No one may read it, and even those that do will likely never care. But I needed to make sure there was some record of what I've done and why I've done it. This isn't just my way of seeking some measures of solace in glorifying myself or expressing self pity for my plight. This is my warning to you all. There is a thing breathed in smoke and darkness, a thing that is trying to break into our world. I know it will not stop until it does. All it needs is someone to kneel to it. Their words aren't getting cut, and I'm sure the hosts like the SMR law. I bet they fucking do. Oh my god, I'm getting spammed on what's. I wanted to send out this last message, a message to the world I hardly ever spoke to. Oh, I'm reading the same thing again. It took a long time thinking this through, unsure if there was any other thing I could do in my situation. Finally, I've come to the conclusion that there is no other way. This is not a decision that I made easily, but one I agonized over for as long as I could. I want to keep fighting, but I know that I've lost. Yet, even in my defeat, I can deny this enemy its most prized asset. I'm looking at the robe hanging before me. I'm full of fear and misery, wishing there was any other thing I could do, but I feel my eyes growing heavy once again, and I know that I must act now. I won't have another chance once I slip away again. You ever wake up to find messages you don't remember writing, and are visited by a smoke shrouded figure in your dreams? You must make the same choice. My life has been a difficult one, full of loneliness and exhaustion. I fear the end of it nonetheless. By this, I'll rather choose this than choose to kneel to that monster. At least now I can finally sleep. You got freed. Pumpkin, you got freed. Stop spamming me. I have freed you, demon. That is a very accurate description. Okay. Anyone have any specific stories do you want me to read, or do I just go just in order, all over Reddit? Fucker. Well, not my fault. If you were acting naughty, so you got put in timeout. Card emoji. Okay. At this point, I should probably just pull up a book and read it, right? How does I don't know, fucking read Dracula? What's a good horror book? Maybe that at this point, maybe that's what I should do. I should just read horror books. Put me in a cage again. I'm like, oh my god. Maiden of the Wood. It is so cliche to say. You won't find my town on any map. But it is true. My town is one of those middle of nowhere places. We're not directly off an exit or main highway. Reaching our city limits requires several obscure turns on unpaved roads. You won't find any signs directing you our way either, besides delivery or service people. There isn't much outside traffic. The dense thicket of trees surrounding my town makes for even more isolation. My community lives differently from most. No, we are not Amish. However, we maintain a simple way of living. The founding fathers of my town roamed the earth hundreds of years ago. Technology grew and developed. Many wanted to evolve with the times. However, our wisest forefather, Alexander Stone, knew these new ways would lead to corruption and the downfall of man. So he took charge and excommunicated those who sought to lead the community to hell and rename the town from its previous Granville, Stoneville. His descendants continue to uphold those values and ways of living even now in the year of our Lord, 2029. We'll read SCP shit. That's not a bad idea. Where can I find SCP shit? Like, I'd expect you, to give me directions. If you want me to do a specific thing, give me more directions. Yeah, SCP shit is sick. Okay. Yes, correct. Why the fuck is there still spamming going? Shit. I'm afraid to pull up Google on my on my PC. I don't know what's gonna be in the fucking search bar. Yeah. STP. STP what? Is it STP store? Is there like is it on STP? Which one is it? Is it is it here? No, it's just memes. Yeah, these are memes. Declassified? Oh, yeah, declassified. Okay. Why is there part one and part two? It seems like it's gonna be fucking long. Well, I guess. How long are these? Why is there? God. Mm. This is basically the whole fucking. The same as fucking reading a whole fucking book. Actual secure content. Okay. Let me see. Actual STP website. Uh huh. Now she just wants a full-on cage. Is it this one? Right. What is the top rated? Oh, my eyes. So fucking bright. Yes? Okay. Okay, so why do I specifically have to click here? Oh, these? Okay, any fucking USTP metalheads, any preference for a specific STP? I didn't expect to fucking end up doing a fucking ASMR screen. You okay? No, I'm just kind of semi-whispering because I don't want to fucking bust anyone's eardrums. 682? Yeah. Six. Oh, shit. Yeah. Which one? Hard to destroy reptile? Can't wait for it just randomly to redirect me to porn. Just talk normal. Well, you're fine. I not technically talking normal? Okay, wait. I think I don't know how to talk normal anymore. I think this became my normal voice. I know, dead ass. I think this became my normal voice. I don't know how to fucking break it now. Is it this one? You can burst my eardrums. Oh my god. You are now manually breathing. Wait, I am. Fuck. Okay. Fuck. So I guess I read this one. I don't have any more coffee. That's the problem. My throat is dry. I feel like a cat fucking. I got deep throated by a cat going, head first in my mouth. Poor you. Yeah, about to be poor you. Okay, so is this what I'm basically supposed to read? I guess. Is there supposed to be like stories or is it just description for an SCP? Like fucking blanked out. I'm just trying to comprehend what the fuck I'm supposed to read here exactly. Because this just looks like doesn't look like any fucking transcripts or whatever. Oh, shut the fuck up. No one is dumber than you. I guess SCP-682. Object class Heater? Getter? Special containment procedures. SCP-682 must be destroyed as soon as possible. At this time, no means available to SCP teams are capable of destroying SCP-682. Only able to cause massive physical damage. SCP-682 should be contained within 5 meter by 5 meter by 5 meter chamber with 25 centimeters reinforced acid-resistant steel plate lining, all inside surfaces. To be easy, like you're reading classified files of a corporation such military. Okay, I can try to do that, but it's different. The containment chamber should be filled with hydrochloric acid until SCP-682 is submerged and incapacitated. Any attempts of SCP-682 to move, peek, or breach containment should be reacted to quickly and with full force as called for by the circumstances. Personnel are forbidden to speak to SCP-682 for fear of provoking a rage state. All unauthorized personnel attempting to communicate to SCP-682 will be restrained and removed by force. Due to its frequent attempts at containment breach, difficulty of containment and incapacitation, and high threat of Foundation exposure, SCP-682 is to be contained inside Dacton. The Foundation will use the best of its resources to maintain all land within 50 kilometers clear of human development. SCP-682 is a large, vaguely reptile-like creature of unknown origin. It appears to be extremely intelligent and was observed to engage in complex communication with SCP-079 during their limited time of exposure. SCP-682 appears to have a hatred of all life, which has been expressed in several interviews during containment. SCP-682 has always been observed to have extremely high strength, speed, and reflexes, though exact levels vary with its form. SCP-682 physical body grows and changes very quickly, growing or decreasing in size as it consumes or sheds materials. SCP-682 gains energy from anything it ingests, organic or inorganic. Digestion seems to be aided by a set of filtering gills inside of SCP-682's nostrils, which are able to remove usable matter from any liquid solution, enabling to constantly regenerate from the acid it is contained in. SCP-682's regenerative capabilities and resilience are staggering, and SCP-682 has been seen moving and speaking with its body 87% destroyed or rotted. I'll be honest, this is boring. I'll be honest, find this bonus. It seemed like there are stories on Reddit though. Oh no, it's just this is just analysis. Bro's just analyzing the fucking. I can just read what I was reading previously. I don't know. It's like it's weird when it's not a story format. It's just like my interest is slipping. I can't immerse myself in something that's not a story. I want my body, please. Oh my god, get help. I was suggesting actual SCP stories. So do actual SCP stories exist? Because if they do exist, I'll read them. But they have to actually exist for me to read them. I'm not reading. I want my body. Shut the fuck up. Oh, we still have black noise going. I forgot about this. Me. Okay, now. I don't know. Do I just keep reading these? I guess I'll just keep reading these because I don't know. Like, my intention was to read actual stories. The fucking files are just like feels weird to read it. It feels like I'm at work again, and I hate fucking my work. Somebody's like, I hope your shit is documented. You better read this for us. Anyway, I'll just go with this. A little over a decade before I was born, it was decided to take a few small steps into the modern era. In addition to the most basic creature comforts, our town elders have remained steadfast in their mission to honor and uphold tradition. Good night, Anibin. There are many spoken and unspoken rules of Stoneville, but the most critical rule is that absolutely no one is to enter the woods. The only exception to this rule is the annual trip our elders make with our yearly offering. We hold a fear based respect for the ancient grove. Every winter solstice, we have what is called the Festival of the Forest. It is a time of drinking, feasting, and dancing. A maiden of the wood is crowned during the ceremony. She must be a young, pure woman who has come of age, meaning turned 18. Imagine finding an 18-year-old that's still a virgin within the same year. While being crowned Maiden of the Wood sounds lighthearted and joyous, it is anything but. Once the maiden is selected, it essentially becomes a farewell party. After saying their goodbyes to family and friends, the town elders escort the Maiden of the Wood into the forest, along with baskets full of crops and handmade items. The group disappears into the void. The elders always return at daybreak the next morning. Just the elders. No crafts, no crops, no maiden. At this point, I'd rather not be a virgin in that case. You wake up the end. That is actually a pretty terrifying fucking story. Partially deaf in my left ear, and of course the fucking right earpiece. Sounds like an impy problem right there. um, every year on the Sabbath before the festival, we are told the history of how, since the founding of Stoneville, the elders have been making sacrifices to the forest god to protect our town and bring abundance to the community. Dreamus, Dreamus, the forest god, came to Alexander Stone in a vision. He showed him the demons that lurk in the woods that surround our home and told him of how they hunger for human flesh. He vowed to protect our people in exchange for the yearly offering of the soul of an innocent on the cusp of womanhood. Her pure blood would ward away these abominations and replenish the soil, guaranteeing a fruitful harvest the next year. He wanted the people to celebrate the occasion with food, drink, and merriment. Thus, the festival of the forest began. Growing up as a young woman in Stoneville, we are constantly told what an honor it is to be chosen as maiden. You are becoming a part of something much greater than yourself, they say. Your family will be blessed beyond measure in the next year, they tell you. I have spent my whole life believing this to be true and silently judging the tears of sorrow from the chosen ones and their families. Even last year, when my sister's best friend and our neighbor was crowned Maiden of the Wood, I couldn't believe that her family seemed so broken by the decision. You would think such a devout family would be rejoicing at the favor shown upon them. I couldn't understand their reaction until now. My sister Grace was chosen. It's been 1 week and I still haven't fully processed it. But that's mostly because, well, she's back. At daybreak, the elders didn't return like they usually do. It was only my sister, completely unclothed, covered in dirt, mud, and what looked like blood. She stumbled through the mist toward the waiting crowd. Gasp of terror spread like a rogue wave. Papa quickly stepped forward, removing his jacket to cover her exposed body. He swiftly ushered Grace, Mother, and myself through the silent departing crowd and toward her home. She hasn't spoken a word since returning. She doesn't eat. She doesn't sleep. I haven't even seen her use the facilities. Mother bathed her when we returned home, but you can still smell her. It's a stench that I can only describe as rot. A putrid, sweet musk that seems to permeate our entire home. Grace just sits and stares. That is until Papa prays over dinner or Mother sings her hymns. She gets squirmy then, like little bugs are crawling on her skin, covers her ears, and rocks back and forth. Wednesday night she started hissing as Papa blessed the food, and yesterday she struck Mother and she sang while tidying up. The long clawed nails Grace has grown since returning left marks on Mother's face and drew blood. My parents ignore all these developments, but I see their concern and fear growing just like the crowd that stands outside our house every night with their torches and rifles. They want answers that we can't provide, and I can tell from the vicious chanting and sounds of the ramming of our front door They will not wait any longer. I fear for what is about to come. However, my fear isn't for them breaking in. It's what it for. It's for what they're breaking out. Well, mm, feels unfinished. Feels very unfinished. Not gonna lie, the whole fucking black noise in my ears is fucking with my head. I'm starting to hallucinate while reading this shit. Oh my god. Pure ecstasy. Oh my god. The village of Cold Harbor was a forgotten place, tucked deep into the English countryside, where the roads twisted like veins through the moors. It had stood for centuries, stone cottages weathered by time, its churchyard filled with the nameless dead. Few visitors passed through, and those who did rarely stayed after dark. I arrived on a bleak October afternoon, the sky swollen with storm clouds. My reason for coming was simple enough. I had inherited an old house on the edge of the village, a relic of my mother's side of the family, whom I had never known well. The solicitor letter had been curt. The property known as Cold Harbor Manor is now legally yours. No further explanation. No mention of why it had remained unclaimed for so many years. Cold Harbor Manor stood at the very edge of Ashdown Forest, past a grove of twisted yew trees that clawed at the sky. The house was vast and solemn, its stone facade blackened with damp, its narrow windows staring like the eyes of a blind man. I was met by the housekeeper, Miss Henshaw, a woman in her 60s with a face like old parchment and a voice like dried leaves rustling in the wind. It's been empty a long time, she said as she led me inside. Best you don't go wandering about after dark. Why? I asked, but she only shook her head. The interior of Cold Harbor Manor was even colder than the autumn air outside. The corridors smelled of old wood and damp stone, and the gas lamps flickered in protest, as if resenting my intrusion. The house had the unsettling quality of feeling too large when I was alone in a room, yet claustrophobic whenever I moved through the corridors, as though the walls were pressing in. The first night I heard footsteps. I had just extinguished my bedside candle when I became aware of it. A slow, deliberate tread moving across the upper landing, just beyond my bedroom door. The house had been silent all evening, save for the distant sound of the wind treading through the trees. Now something was moving. I lay rigid, listening. The footsteps were measured, almost rhythmic, but they did not descend the staircase. Instead, they stopped directly outside my room. I held my breath. The door handle did not turn, nor did I hear any further sound. Yet the oppressive sense of something on the other side of the door remained. I wanted to call out to the man who was there, but my voice died in my throat. The silence stretched until my skin crawled. Then finally, after what felt like an eternity, the footsteps retreated. Slowly at first, then fading entirely. In the morning, I found Miss Henshaw in the kitchen. She was pouring tea, her hand steady, but she avoided my gaze. There was someone in the house last night, I said. No, she replied simply. But I heard, she set the teapot down with a clatter. You heard him. I stared. Who? The watcher. She exhaled through her nose, as if she had been holding the words inside for too long. He's been here longer than any of us, always watching, always waiting. Pause. You do realize you could take out the straw, pop off the top, get a spoon, and then just eat it with a spoon. I felt a chill creep up my spine. Waiting for what? She gave me a long, hollow look. For someone to stay. That evening, as dusk swallowed the village, the fog came rolling in from Ashdown Forest. It was thick and low, curling around the house like a living thing. I sat by the fireplace, nursing a glass of brandy, telling myself that I was being foolish. A house settling in the night, a trick of the wind, nothing more. Yet as the clock in the hall struck midnight, the footsteps returned. This time I did not wait for them to reach my door. Candle in hand, I pulled it open, only to find the corridor empty. The air was thick with the scent of damp stone and something else. Something faint, metallic, blood. The candle wavered, my pulse hammered in my throat as I stepped out into the landing. The air was wrong, heavy, as if I had stepped into another time. The walls seemed darker, the wallpaper curling at the edges like burnt parchment. And from the end of the corridor, I saw him. A figure half lost in the shifting fog, stood motionless at the far end of the hallway, tall and thin, dressed in black, his face obscured by shadow. His posture was unnatural, rigid, as though he had been standing there for centuries, watching. I could not move. My breath came in shallow gasps as the figure took a slow, deliberate step forward, then another, and then nothing. The candle flickered wildly, and in that brief moment of darkness, the figure was gone. I did not sleep that night. By morning, I had made a decision. Cold Harbor Manor would remain empty. Whatever haunted its corridors, the Watcher, or something worse, belonged to the past. I packed my bags, left the keys on a heavy oak table, and did not look back. As I walked into the village, the fog lifted slightly, revealing the churchyard. I paused, compelled by something I did not understand. There, among the weathered tombstones, was a single grave, apart from the rest. Its stone was cracked and ancient, the name barely legible beneath the moss, but as I stepped closer, I could just make out the inscription. Edmund Blackwood, 1712, 1773. He watches still. A tremor ran through me. Blackwood. The name was familiar. I had seen it in the solicitor's letter, buried among the legal formalities. Edmund Blackwood had been the original owner of Cold Harbor Manor. I turned away from the grave, my breath hitching. The fog had thickened once more, swallowing the village in a dense, choking mist. And just as I stepped onto the road, I heard it again. Footsteps. Not behind me, not ahead, but all around. And this time, they were getting closer. Don't use straw, put mouth around the cup, but when I have to get. Oh. Yeah, but you can take off the lid. She's drinking like a fucking milkshake, but it's like thick as fuck. Reading a scary story and then seeing stupidity ensue in chat. Beginner's Guide to Being Cursed, huh? Oh shit, this one is long as fuck again. Damn, with a mouth like yours, damn. Not sure how you would spell. You could fucking swallow the whole cup. What are you DMing on right now? I have a question. I'm not DMing on anything. I don't even own a spoon. Shut the fuck. Just, you own a hand, right? You can use a hand. Just fucking shovel it with your hand. Yeah, what kind of question do you have, Shimbe? I will answer your question with utmost importance. See, I can be fancy. I'll finger the fucking milkshake. That's one way to make it, more liquidy. Oh my god. What the fuck is with you and thick milkshakes? No, like, do you still have Discord or you have to mail you them out? No, no, no. I have a new Discord. It's called my nickname, like username is Constant Problems. Like, I don't really. I try to avoid logging into it because I don't know what will trigger a ban again. I think what triggers a ban is okay. So I think what happened before. So when I set my profile picture, I had the same profile picture and a similar username, and also I think my emails were kind of tied. So because of that, when it triggers in the same server, it's like, oh, damn, you're like the same person. Like you have the same peoples in your friend list. You have joined the same Discord channels, and it just fucking nukes me because it's like, oh, there's like a lot of shit tying you back to your banned accounts. So like, you're getting nuked. At least that's what I've heard happens. Could be also hardware ban. Because the thing is, right, I got banned on my first one. I got banned on PC. I think I tried to join the server through. I don't think it was even through Discord app. I think I tried to join through the web. And then next time I got banned when I tried to join a server through my phone. Hi Venti, what's up? Then I think the next time I got banned is I tried to join one of my old servers through phone Discord app, which was kind of stupid because obviously my phone is hardware banned. I'm gonna go sleep. Good night now. Yeah, good night, Venti. It's nice seeing you. Bye bye. I'll ban evader, can't even evade. There's like a lot of people that I've read that had like 20 accounts banned. Like this time I didn't even use Gmail. I straight up fucking used I fucking use like Proton email or whatever because I already have the subscription to the VPN. So I was like, fuck it, let's use their Proton email. It's also good for the dark web. Why does stream low-key look interesting? I'm just reading scary stories right now. I'm not tired. I'm speaking like this on purpose. If you haven't noticed, it's kind of semi-ASMR. I'm trying not to make my voice sound sharp and sharp and edgy, so it's not as horrible to listen to. You're not in my DMs. My fingers aren't long enough. Can I use yours? Yeah, sure, pumpkin. Sure, you can use my fingers. Okay. I started my YouTube channel after I lost my job. I worked in customer service for a big telecom company. Basically, I was a human punching bag for people with bad reception and even worse tempers. But the worst part wasn't the angry customers, it was knowing they were right. The company was overpriced garbage. They didn't care about their clients. So one day I told the customer to switch to the competition. The call was recorded for training purposes. A week later, my keycard didn't work anymore, of course. I knew the call was recorded. I just didn't want the job anymore. And then came the free time. A lot of it. For most people, that would be a dream. But for me, the emptiness just ate me alive. After 2 weeks, I was ready to call my boss and beg for my old job back. And I would have if I hadn't run into an old school friend at the supermarket. Yeah, I think the thing is, right, I think I can log in at any time. I doubt, as long as I don't try to join anything, I don't think I'll get banned. Because I mean, the previous account was there for a couple of months. I literally only got banned when I tried to join a server. So yeah, I'll check. I'll check when probably after stream. Although I don't think it's gonna be a very long stream since I'm kind of just reading. I'll get tired soon. Tom had been the quiet, nerdy type in school, but the guy I met in the parking lot was nothing like the kid I remembered. He was tall, well dressed, and carried himself with an easy confidence. He had that kind of energy people talk about when they see someone has found their center, whatever that's supposed to mean. Started talking. He told me he was a YouTuber, a content creator. He had a channel about car tuning, one about baseball, and his biggest success was a channel where he posted body cam footage from police operations. You make a living from that? I asked. Turns out he not only made enough money, but he also enjoyed his work. Maybe that's why he had such a positive vibe. He liked going to work in the morning. He didn't hate his boss. He didn't have annoying coworkers to avoid. He gave me his number and told me I should try YouTube too. It takes time to build a community and start making money, but he said it was worth it. He did not just put down a lemon emoji. Oh, yeah, yeah. Who the fuck would report Ellie though? Yeah, a lemon. A fucking lemon would report me. And what should I make videos about? Well, the thing you love the most. I drove home and thought about it. What do I love the most? I don't know much about cars. I don't care about sports. And watching cops beat up innocent people doesn't seem all that interesting to me. The only thing that came to mind was cleaning. I don't love the end result of cleaning, the order itself, but the process. Watching something wild and chaotic slowly fade away, replaced by calm and structure, fills me with a deep sense of peace. The emptiness disappears, and for a moment, my existence in this world doesn't feel so meaningless. Cleaning was the only thing that made my unemployment bearable. I spent the first half of the day turning my apartment into a complete mess, just so I could enjoy cleaning it up in the second half. That was my drug. So I started filming myself while cleaning my apartment, uploaded the videos, and then nothing happened. Just like Tom had predicted, at first no one cares, but that didn't bother me. The views didn't matter because I still got that same rush from cleaning. And everything changed my first viral hit. When I take the bus to the supermarket, the route passes by a cemetery. One day I glanced over the small stone wall and noticed an old, completely abandoned grave. The foundation had sunk, and the weed covered slab was tilted into the earth. The headstone was covered in moss and dirt. The inscription, long, unreadable. The gotcha stay away. Hello Kitty Island Adventure. Hello CG9. Yeah, roguelike poker. The next day I went to the cemetery groundskeeper and asked who was buried there. He checked his records, but couldn't give me a name. All I can see in my system is that the burial right expired in 1987. The family never renewed them. So that means no one takes care of the grave, I asked. The groundskeeper nodded. Technically, we could dissolve it, but since modern burials are becoming more minimalist and space efficient, we don't really need the extra room. I asked if I could take care of the grave. He looked at me with a mix of suspicion and curiosity. I pulled out my phone, showed him my YouTube channel, and tried to convince him that I wasn't crazy. The relatives haven't shown up in 40 years, he said, scratching his head. I don't think they'll show up now and have a problem with it. I set up my camera, tripod on the small gravel path, and got to work. Around me were either old gravestones or open graves, so I had peace. First, I trimmed the wild hydrangea bush, branches hanging over the gravestone, pulled out the weeds from the ground. I got some soil from the garden center and filled the gap under the grave slab to level it out. The next day, I worked on the slab and the headstone. I first used a wooden spade to remove the moss and dirt, then scrubbed the sandstone with a pH neutral soap. After the third round, The headstone regained its original color, lava gray. Not crazy, he's pulling the horny on me. They massacred my boy. That's what happens when you have to deal with horny every day. Bro, you do realize that I'm not energetic today on purpose. Jeff's gonna speak even if using helium. No need to speak deep. I'm not speaking deep. This is my yeah. What's up, pumpkin? Once that was done, I cleaned the inscriptions, ornaments, and engravings with a toothbrush until they were legible. Beneath the name and birth and death dates was a line: "Forget me not, or I won't forget you." I thought about that last line a lot while I packed up my stuff and took down the tripod. Why would someone have something like that carved onto their gravestone? Was it a threat? Or was she known for her sense of humor? And maybe it was her way of leaving a parting gift for the world. I drove home, worked on the video late into the night, loaded it, and went to sleep. That night I slept badly and had a strange nightmare. I was trapped in some kind of steel oven, surrounded by naked people with animal heads instead of their own. Then the fire appeared under the oven, and we were all baked alive. The half human, half animal creatures screamed, trying to push themselves up, away from the flames. I had no chance and was pressed down toward the fire. Even though it was just a dream, I felt the pain and fear. I was pushed against the hot floor, and the smell of my burning skin filled my nose, followed by blinding pain and desperate screams. Pain? There's a hole. You do realize you don't need to read it, I'm reading it. You do realize I'm reading it, right? I should probably make it larger. And actually, that's a good idea. When I woke up, my chest hurt and felt burned. Even though there were no signs of injury, the feeling went away, especially when I checked my YouTube account. The cemetery video had gone viral overnight. It had been online for less than 6 hours and already had, I'm not reading the exact number, but over 100,000 views. And my subscribers jumped to 2,318. Numbers kept growing throughout the day, and by evening, 870,000 people had watched the video and were discussing it. While some thought it was nice that someone had finally taken care of the grave, others felt I had disturbed the privacy and peace of the grave, just for clicks. Less than 24 hours after I uploaded the video, I hit the magic mark of 1 million views. And with the success came the first collaboration requests from companies that make cleaning products and cleaning tools. Tom also reached out and congratulated me on the success. He said it would have taken him over a year to hit a million. Apparently, it was some kind of natural talent. He also wanted to collaborate with me. A noise woke me up that night. I tried to get up and check, but suddenly I couldn't move my body. I screamed with all my strength, but no sound came out. The more I fought it, the weaker I became. Then I saw a shadow, the silhouette of a woman, as she entered the room and leaned over me. I fell into a dark hole. I lost all will to live. Everything bad and evil that had happened to me in my life suddenly came back to me. It was like sitting in an empty movie theater, watching the worst moments of my life on the huge screen. The tragic death of my parents, the child who only lived until the second trimester, the failed marriage, the drug addiction. I saw it all so clearly. I saw it all so clearly. I was worthless and deserved to die. Yes, it was my duty to throw myself out the window right now, or slit my throat with a knife. The loud knocking on the door woke me from my sleep. It had been a strange and terrifyingly realistic dream. You know that feeling of relief when you realized it was all just a dream, and you were safe? That feeling didn't come to me. I still felt miserable as I opened the door with a heavy heart. The words on the gravestone echoed in my mind. Forget me not, or I won't forget you. I'll be honest, that EP was so fucking loud and so devastating that it made me want to fucking kill myself. I was so into reading this, and that just fucking went like a knife. It just went like a fucking knife through a thick mist, fucking cutting it open, ripping a piece of my soul apart. Like, it just felt off. I'm not mad at you though, Venti. I mean, it was there. I could have disabled the redeem to avoid that happening. To be fair, I hope you enjoyed it though. Two police officers stood at the door and wanted to speak with me. One of them showed me the cemetery video on his phone and asked if that was me. Yes, I said, rubbing my face. But I had the gardener's permission. And you were just taking care of the grave? Yes. Is that all you did? Listen, what's the problem? Should I delete the video or what? The officers exchanged a brief glance. You've received a report of grave desecration. Grave desecration? You've seen the video, right? If anything, it was a grave upgrade. Someone opened the grave last night and stole the remains. He handed me his phone showing crime scene photos, and sure enough, the grave slab had been moved aside and the deep hole had been dug. Who did this? We're trying to find that out. The grave has been there for 90 years with no incidents, and right after we make a video about it, something happens. Don't you think that's a bit strange? A coincidence? I mumbled to myself, thinking of the nightmare. We were taught at the police academy not to believe in coincidences. There's always a causal link, and we'll find it. The officer stood up and paused for a moment. Can I use your bathroom? Second door on the left. He went into the bathroom and walked away with the other cop down the hall when suddenly his partner appeared. I couldn't quite read his look. It was a mix of awe and satisfaction. I told you we always find a connection. There was satisfaction in his voice. He gestured towards my bathroom, and in the bathtub lay the reason for the awe in his tone. The entire bathroom was filled with black soil, and in the tub were the bones from the grave, covered in dirt and brittle with age. I tried to explain to the officers that I had no idea how the bones ended up in my apartment, but of course, he didn't believe me. I was arrested and spent the night in the cell. As they led me away in handcuffs, I couldn't stop thinking about the words I had read on the gravestone. Forget me not, or I won't forget you. He went into the bathroom and I walked with the other cop down the hall when suddenly his partner appeared. Huh? Did I? I fucking... I'm so stupid. I started rereading parts. I got so fucking immersed. I read Forget Me Not and then just continued from this part because my mind wandered. They removed the bones from my apartment and reburied the remains. I was charged with disturbing the peace of the dead, grave desecration, and theft. The incidents went public, and the media spun their own version of the story. I had cleaned the grave only to desecrate it afterward. A well-known influencer took the story further, claiming my goal was to turn it into a ghost story for my channel to gain more views. Other YouTubers jumped on the bandwagon, and it turned into a full-blown witch hunt against me. Videos about me and my satanic acts brought in good views, and even Tom made a video claiming that during our meeting in the parking lot, I had allegedly talked about doing something forbidden for one of my videos. Cemetery video hit nearly 2 million views before YouTube took it down and banned me from the platform. All the sponsorship requests were cancelled, and Tom stopped reaching out. Since then, I dreamed the same dream every night, every time I burned in the oven, along with the people with animal heads. So I slept less, she led my mind to play tricks on me, over and over. I saw a shadow, silhouette of a woman, wandering around my apartment. Forget me not, or I won't forget you. It was all connected to her grave, so I started to dig deeper. First on the internet, then at the city archive. Found nothing about her childhood or youth, only a few newspaper clippings, and excerpts from a book called The Black Cult. The book mentioned her name in connection with a group of occultists who had been experimenting with dark magic. In another article, there were reports of several deaths supposedly linked to a curse she had placed on the victims. Forget me not, or I won't forget you. And the darkness came into my life, too. I couldn't get a job anymore because the whole country knew me as the clickbait grave desecrator. I couldn't pay my rent and had to leave my apartment. I had no one to turn to, no family, no friends. I was completely alone. Forget me not, or I won't forget you. For a week now, I've been living in a homeless shelter, and even here, misfortune follows me. Yesterday, I got into a fight with a heroin junkie who stabbed me in the stomach with a box cutter. The wound got infected, and the sharp pain spread throughout my body in a slow, burning circle. Forget me not, or I won't forget you. I curl up in my sleeping bag and get ready to dream of the oven and the people with animal heads. Every night I burn again and wake up with invisible burns on my skin. Forget me not, or I won't forget you. I love how Venti. I love how Venti just fucked off after that. What's a no? I have no idea what that word means. Fucking hell. I should have considered that maybe the sound alerts wouldn't really work for a stream like this. Okay, I'll probably read one more mean chewy shit. Well, sucks to be you, I guess. I'll read one more and then I'll end stream. Oh, fucking perfect. It's semi long. Two legs. Why Milky Way when you can have Milky Way? Oh, summer in Tennessee is a kind of hot that you cannot possibly fathom unless you have experienced it for yourself. You may be used to the heat of the dry, wide expanses of the Southwest, or the desert heat of western Colorado, or even the scorching heat of Texas, but nothing prepares you for the intense heat of a June day in Tennessee. It was the last day of June in 2007, and we were on summer vacation in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, which straddles the border between Tennessee and North Carolina, in the southern end of the Appalachian Mountain. I can't fucking read that word. The thermometer read 87 degrees, but the air conditioner in the family Ford Escape ran full blast, trying to wick the sweat off our skin into air just as sticky. A futile effort to cool ourselves, as if blowing a roaring furnace out like a birthday candle. Even at highway speed, the open windows only seemed to let in more hot air and mosquitoes. Yet we kept them open because a breeze was better than nothing. My mother had grown up in Tennessee, though in the western half of the state. She had always remembered Smoky Mountains fondly as a family vacation destination. And now, though we lived halfway across the country, had elected to share her childhood experiences with her own children. I was 12 years old, and being the only girl, had to sit in the middle back seat of the Escape, crammed between my brothers, Isaac and Noah, their gross sweaty elbows and shoulders jabbing me with every bump in the road. The drive from Grandma's house in Memphis had been unbearable. When we reached the town of Pigeon Forge outside the park's entrance, we were all desperate to get out of the truck. Isaac, in particular, had a vested interest. Pigeon Forge is steeped in Civil War history, and at 15 years of age, Isaac was going through his Civil War history phase. He insisted you could feel the history or rolling of the hills, whatever that means. I felt something. So did Mom. We did not stop in Pigeon Forge. It's all a tourist trap now, the town anyways, Mom said. 15 minutes later, we passed through Gatlinburg, a town with even more history and less vice, and the air grew somehow even more oppressive. Just past Gatlinburg, we entered the national park. I expected it to be a reprieve, the cool mountain air and all that, but it was just as hot as we climbed into the park. We rolled past the entrance area with its staff cabins and maintenance lots and pulled up to the main parking area. Disembarking from the car, we could feel the heat reflecting off the back top, and we were eager to get to the grass, but even that provided a little reprieve. Boy, it's hot, Isaac said. Mom chewed her thoughts for a moment. Down the hill, there's a creek at the tree line. Let's set up down there. We all followed Mom as she had been to this park before, albeit 20 years prior or more. She led us down a deer path straight down an embankment towards the tree line, where sure enough we found a little creek babbling happily. We set up a picnic blanket and Dad's little portable grill on the only flat area near the creek, and Dad set about getting the grill started. While my brothers and I decided to explore the woods while we waited for lunch. Don't go too far, Mom called after us as we disappeared behind the tree line. And remember your way back. Children have disappeared in this woods. My brother seemed to shrug off Mom's warnings, but he resonated with me. I did remember, in fact, seeing news stories about people disappearing in this park, and one little boy who disappeared here was often said to have been taken by a Sasquatch, or something very much like it. I didn't know how much I believed these stories, but my brothers loved telling stories about scary things in the woods to freak me out, particularly on camping trips. Still, it was what Dad always said that made me shudder the most as we disappeared behind the tree line. The scariest things in the woods walk on two legs. At home, Isaac loved making toy guns. He was obsessed with them. He learned how to use the skill saw in Dad's garage to cut out the silhouette of rifles, then wood glued closed spines to them so that he could shoot rubber bands off them. He sold these to the neighborhood kids one summer and made $200, and all the kids on the block were out shooting each other with rubber bands all summer long until our parents got fed up and banded together to confiscate all the rubber band guns. They burned them all in a celebratory fire, but Isaac still got his money. Now in the hot, humid woods that offered nearly no reprieve from the July heat permeating the entire park, he picked up vaguely gun-looking sticks and issued them to me and Noah as he barked out orders for our exploratory mission for the day. We dutifully followed him deeper into the woods, wooden rifles slung over our shoulders patriotically. Once we had traveled a reasonable distance from the campsite, we stopped in a clearing. This will do, Isaac said matter of factly. Start bringing me wood, and I'll build our base here. In the woods near our house, we were always able to find plenty of wood to build our fortresses, but the woods in Smoky Mountains had largely been picked clean by campers looking for firewood, so this proved to be more difficult task than we anticipated. We ended up breaking small limbs of trees, which built less of a fortress and more of a teepee, so we eventually gave up and continued our hike. We had probably wandered the better part of a mile into the woods now, and we were definitely further from Mom and Dad than we should have been. Couldn't smell the grill anymore, and we were relying on our own timing to know when to turn back for lunch. But the fact of the matter was that I had no idea how much time had passed since we entered the woods. Isaac, I asked, when should we go back? I'm hungry. Isaac didn't look back to face me. This trail loops back, he said, despite the fact that I wasn't sure if we were following a trail or a deer path. Most of the trails in the park were paved with fresh granite. This one was just raw dirt which broke into mud in places. I decided to trust my brother. About another 15 minutes, I got a feeling which I did not like, sort of prickling in the back of my neck. I didn't recognize it then, in my young age, but I know now that it is the feeling that you're being watched. Noah felt it too. He clutched his wooden gun a little more tightly and walked so close up to Isaac that he was treading on the back of his feet. Isaac, he said, let's go back. I want to go eat. It loops back, Isaac repeated. You're closer to the end than to the beginning. Somewhere up ahead, there was a crashing sound in the undergrowth. We froze as we listened to it cross the dense woods in front of us. We knew well from countless afternoons playing in the woods that a small animal on the forest floor sounded much bigger than it really was. But this wasn't that. This thing had a specific pattern to the noise it made, a type of sh. It was walking on two legs. Think it's a bear, Noah whispered. Let's turn back. It's just a hiker, Isaac said. Off the trail? I asked. Isaac gestured toward the little deer path he had been following. We were off the trail. Have been for an hour. The footsteps stopped. Dead ahead down the deer path from us. We froze in our tracks, afraid to move. That's when we heard it. Something was moving on the trail behind us as well. The thing behind us didn't move in the same way. It sounded more like an animal, clearly large in size, but moving nearly silently. If we hadn't already been listening for the footsteps ahead of us, we would have never heard it. It didn't shuffle through leaf litter on two legs like the thing in front of us. It moved quietly and gracefully, and made only a slight scratching sound in the undergrowth. Isaac and Noah looked at each other, wide-eyed, and Noah mouthed the words so I wouldn't hear them. I could read his lips though. Mountain lion. We didn't know what to do, but luckily the decision ended up being made for us as we listened to the creature move alongside us in the undergrowth. For a split second, it came out into the open, and we got a glimpse of it through the trees. It looked like a mountain lion, sure enough, but it was huge, bigger even than the lions we've seen at the zoo. It was closer in size to a tiger, but covered in shaggy golden hair and little spots like a bobcat. It had no apparent tail, but bore two massive fangs protruding from its mouth. The creature looked like something that shouldn't exist anymore, something you'd see in the Smithsonian. But here it was alive and in the flesh and wandering the woods of eastern Tennessee. The thing paused in our full view for a minute and looked at us, and our blood ran cold. After a brief stare down, it turned and continued on its way, placing itself between us and whatever the thing on two legs ahead of us was. Let's get the fuck out of here, Isaac said. He quickly abandoned his plans to go forwards and turned around back down the trail. We marched quickly and silently, the way we came. For a brief second, we heard the thing on two legs crashing down the trail back towards us. But then we heard a wail, like a woman being murdered. That made our blood run cold. We spilled over each other, running back out of the woods. We must have run for 20 minutes without pausing or looking back when we erupted out of the tree line, all screaming, Mom! Mom! We found our parents worried sick. Dad was talking to a park ranger while Mom calmed the tree line. She saw us and came running. Thank God you're okay, she exclaimed. We were worried sick about you. It's been almost 2 hours. There was a monster in the woods, Mom, I said. Few monsters, Isaac corrected me. Alex. Somebody called in the trees nearby. We both turned to watch, and Mom drew a sharp breath. Kids, she said, did you see anyone else in the woods while you were in there? There was someone on the trail ahead of us. We didn't see it though. It? Mom asked. We thought it was a Sasquatch. Noah admitted sheepishly. Mom's face soured. Kids, there's another little boy missing in the woods. Someone said they saw a man carry him off. We thought he had gotten you too. That little boy who went missing in Smoky Mountains National Park that day never was found. An eyewitness claimed he saw a man with long white hair approach him, take him by the hand, and lead him off into the forest. The worst things in the woods walk on two legs. With the hindsight that I now have almost 2 decades later, I know in my heart that if it weren't for that cat we encountered in the woods that day, two legs would have gotten us too. Fuck. I'm done. Now I'm sleepy officially. Okay, ASMR over. We get back to our normal scheduled lines. Shame. Nah, come on, reading for like fucking 2 hours is devastating, okay? My eyes are fucking tired. What now, Pookie? Probably that's all for the stream. If I called, if I did the stream earlier, I would have gone for a little bit longer. But because I kind of started stream late, I don't feel like, I'm kind of, at my tired point already. So, I would have probably gone like for 4 hours or so. But, yeah, as I said, I started kind of late. Okay, if you vote for it, right? I'll read another story. One last one. Yes. Okay, so that's a no. That's a no. I need 3 votes. Specifically three. I am doing 3 votes on purpose because right now there's only 2 people that can vote. Well, at least 2 people that I've seen being active. So unless a third one pops up saying another one, then fuck. Okay, so I've got 2 yeses. So if there's no third yes, I'm gonna end it. No, 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 no. I'm doing this on purpose. Let me call Venti. Yeah, call Venti. He's probably asleep. I'll give you a little bit of time for a third yes. I mean, this one is short. I'll read the short one. Okay, fine. But this is the last one. Grandma died with dignity at the age of 94 the other day, surrounded by her loved ones. So I don't get why she's come back. Sounds like an anime, like a fucking anime title. She was waiting for me when I returned from the hospice, outside by the door. I barged by her or through her. I was so discombobulated that I don't know which, and I went in. She didn't follow me, just stood by the door. I think she can't come in. I'm certainly not about to ask her. I don't understand why she's doing this to me. She lived a full, respectable life, and she was a catalog of aches and pains that I can't begin to list. She chose to die freely and openly after lots of discussion. Well, some discussion. I told her about the option, you see. The medical staff in our region aren't allowed to raise it with patients after some scandal about homeless or disabled or mentally ill people being pressured into it. I forget which. Some local busybodies took to the press and made a huge fuss, and the sanctimonious old geriatrics who run this place quickly put a fuck ton of extra rules in place. But there's nothing to say that a loving grandson can't gently talk about the option to his suffering grandma, especially since grandma has a nice house, and I was forced to live with my parents. It's the economy. Stupid. Until grandma moved to the hospice and someone, I forget who it was, suggested I might as well move into her house since it was lying empty and she has all these plants and it can be sorted out later. Oh, yes, it will be sorted out. So you don't know. And I put the plants out by the pavement the second day. I don't have time to waste on plants. They were dying anyway. Grandma looked at me as I told her, her eyes bright and unclouded. She was wearing a very pretty lacy blue nightgown. It looked expensive. Thank you, Nicholas, she said deliberately. Mom told me about her decision later that day, struggling to hold back her tears. She wants us all there, Nicholas, singing her favorite song, Old Lang Syne. I resisted the urge to roll my eyes at the attention seeking old bag. Everything went well. Grandma closed her bright eyes. I was out there. My parents agreed I could stay in her house until we sort things out. Honestly, I don't think they enjoyed having me with them either. She was there when I returned home. I genuinely thought it was just a random old lady in a blue dress standing by the door. Then I went up, she turned to me, and I froze. She opened her mouth, and I saw very clearly the gaping black hole. I heard her voice very deliberately and slow. My plans, Nicholas. The hole grew wider and wider and moved closer to me, starting to swallow me up. I unfroze and barged in. She's still there, standing. I know I can move past her if I move very fast, and I know she's not going anywhere, and neither am I. Is this the point where you say, one more, one more, one more? I mean, this one is also kind of short. I can do another way. Okay, it's silent, so I guess it's unwanted for me to do one more. Where is my peace? Okay, whenever I get put on hold by the phone company, not music that I hear, but real people asking for help. I lost my phone, and I was onto the phone company straight away. It is a contract phone. I was hoping that they would replace it. As lost phone was part of the cover, I managed to get a human to talk to me without waiting, and I told the guy about it, how I had lost my phone. Now, the guy on the other end started to go on about how it was my fault, that I had lost my phone, and that I don't qualify for a free replacement. I started arguing as that is part of the policy, and the guy then told me that he was going to put me on hold. As I was put on hold while the guy on the other end of the phone talked with the manager, I expected cheesy music, but instead I got someone who was desperate for survival. On the other end of the phone, the person had been kidnapped and placed in some cabin in the forest. She was desperate for me to help her, but I told her that I was just looking for a new phone. She started to cry and beg me to help her. As I tried to collect her number and contact details, it was no longer on hold, and the guy who was the customer service rep for the phone company came back on. He told me that I wasn't qualified for a free replacement, but I angrily told him that I was qualified for a free replacement as I paid extra every month for this kind of insurance. Started rummaging through my phone contract and then put me on hold again. As I was put on hold again, I was expecting cheesy music, but I had gotten another desperate person wanting my help. Please help me. A group of people have broken into my home and they have murdered everyone apart from me. I told the person that she should call the police, and he himself doesn't. Why his call went to me. He kept begging me to help him, but I was like, Dada, I'm only here for a new phone. Then he started to cry, and that's when I relented, and just as when I had tried to get his details, I wasn't on hold anymore. The phone customer service person finally saw that my contract gave me the right to a new replacement phone, whether or not I was responsible. I was happy and told him the make of my phone and all the other details of it. Then the phone customer service rep had to put me on hold again to see whether that phone was available anymore. As I was put on hold again, I became terrified, and I was going to be begging for my help. Then when I voice started asking, bro, could have at least not made so many grammar mistakes. Then when a voice started asking for my help, because he was buried alive in a coffin with a mobile phone that was running out of charge. To make it even more terrifying, the voice on the other end of the phone was my voice, and it was me asking for help. As I tried to get more information for myself, I was no longer on hold, and the phone customer rep said that they were sending on me an upgraded replacement phone. I'm not gonna lie, this one had so many fucking grammar errors, I had fucking trouble reading it fluently. It's gonna be like, one more, one more. Okay, this one is semi long. Are you planning to hit me with one more? Oh, you're so annoying. But this is the last one. You need to promise you're not gonna be needy, okay, anymore. This is the last one. Okay. Okay, fine. I don't know how long I've been in this room. The overhead light hums, flickering every few minutes, like it's on the verge of dying. It smells in here. Stale coffee, cigarette smoke, wet. Maybe it's mine. Maybe it's his. The detective sits across from me, rubbing his eyes. He looks exhausted, but not like he wants to sleep. More like he is holding himself together by sheer force of will. His fingers tap against the metal table, slow and deliberate. A metronome counting down to something I don't want to know. I can't stop crying. My chest heaves with every gasping breath. I want to wipe my face, but my hands are shaking too much. He doesn't care. He just stares, his jaw clenched so tight I can hear his teeth grind. Finally, he exhales sharply through his nose. Mr. Holland, we don't need a confession. We have all the evidence. His voice is flat, emotionless, but his fingers twitch like they're itching to do something else. I just need to know, where is she? I squeeze my eyes shut. My throat is raw. It wasn't me. My voice is barely a whisper, but I force it out again. It wasn't me. I sniff, trying to hold myself together. I was on a date when the babysitter called. Kayla. She's been watching Jenny for months now. She's great, she's reliable. But when I picked up, something was wrong. The memory sends a fresh wave of nausea rolling through me. Her voice was off, like she was talking to a bad connection, but wet, garbled, like her throat was full of something. But I heard enough to know something was wrong with Jenny. The detective doesn't blink. I ran out of the restaurant, sped all the way home. I barely remember the drive, I just knew I had to get there. I suck in a shaky breath. But when I got there, something was off. The house was dark, too dark. Porch light wasn't on, even though I always leave it on for Kayla. No sound, no movement, just stillness. I paused, trying to keep my voice steady. Then I saw the upstairs window. My stomach twists. The lamp was on in Jenny's room, and Kayla, she was standing there, looking down at me. A flicker of something in the detective's eyes. I gripped the table, my knuckles white. He was smiling. The words taste like bile. Not smiling, grinning. Too wide, too forced. Like someone was pulling the corners of her mouth back with a hook, and her hand, swallow hard. She was waving, but her fingers were bent the wrong way, like they were broken. I shake my head, trying to get rid of myself with the image. I ran inside, called for them. Nothing. Jenny was gone. Hila was nowhere. But then, I hesitate. Something moved outside. The backyard, the swing set creaked in the breeze. But there was no wind. She was there. The detective leans in slightly. I don't want to say it, but I do. Jenny. The name feels foreign in my mouth. She was standing in the backyard, barefoot in the grass, swaying slightly. The moonlight hit her face just right, and that's when I saw it. I can barely get the words out. Her eyes, deck stills, they were mine. Silence. The buzzing overhead light grows louder, like it's listening. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. She lifted her little hand and waved at me, just like Kayla had. Same motion, same broken fingers. I swallow my throat, fries of sandpaper, and then she opened her mouth. The active stare sharpens. She didn't cry. She didn't speak. She just laughed. A wet, gurgling sound, like something trying to force its way out of her tiny throat. It wasn't a sound a baby should make. I ran. I didn't think. I just ran. But as I turned back to the house, the porch light flickered on. I blinked rapidly, my head throbbing, and I saw myself standing in the doorway. The detective stiffens. What? His voice is barely above a whisper. I gripped the table harder. Me, standing there, staring back. Same clothes, same face. But I wasn't moving. And then I let out a shaky breath. Then me in the doorway. He smiled and he waved. The detective stands abruptly. His chair scrapes against the floor. The fluorescent light flickers again. Something shifts in the reflection of the two-way mirror behind him. Not me. Not him. Something else. Waving. Okay. Oh, for fuck's sake. Told you to promise you're not gonna beg for another one. Okay, fine. Holy shit, this one is kind of long as well. Fine. Fine. I normally go for 4 hours, so technically, because I started an hour and 30 minutes longer, I have like another 15 minutes, I guess, allegedly. My name is Andrew. I've only worked here for a few months, and one of the first things they taught me was to always keep my eyes on the cameras. You never know when something's going to pop up that you need to take notes on. Most of the time, there's nothing interesting, just people running to the pool, or getting ice, running to the gas station next door, or just leaving to go to Applebee's. Dollarita, Dollaritas were back when I started, so that's where most people were. The first month flew by, simple, easy. We don't have a very large hotel, only 4 floors and like 60 rooms. When I started, we had a lot of stayovers and a couple of university teams. Essentially, only ever about 30 people in the hotel at a time. We also have a lot of construction crews that stay with us while they work on site. Most of the crews that stay are really cool guys. They're average dude bros, drinking beer, smoking cigs, and shooting the shit. At this point, the hotel is really slow. It's after Christmas, so everyone is either home or at a different work site, so they aren't staying with us. The hotel is quiet, dark, and cold. The breathing kind of cold, the sort that comes and goes, filling you with warmth in a kind of exhale, and then inhaling the warmth right out of your body. It's the beginning of January, so I get it, it's cold. It hasn't been higher than 35 for the last 2 weeks. A lot of people wanting to come and just stay to avoid the cold. So my eyes are on the cameras like glue to make sure no one is up to anything nefarious. Week 1, we only have 7 check ins today, so pretty boring 8 hours. All of them are prepaid and the paperwork is all done. So easy, I fill up my water bottle, then I sit down with my Jersey Mike sub. Can't resist the Danny DeVito sponsorship. As I'm eating, I look up at the camera screen. Here comes a lady with a small Shih Tzu. We don't allow pets at the hotel, so I get up to go talk to her, leaving my sandwich behind. As she enters, I stop her. Ma'am, I'm sorry, but we don't allow pets in the hotel. Do you have a reservation? I do. I'm a diamond member. I think we can let it slide. No, ma'am, I don't think we can let it slide. What's the name of the reservation? Margaret Thompson. I think my husband made a reservation. Her husband had made a reservation, and he was coming in right behind her. I look up and I tell her I'm sorry, we don't allow pets. You'll have to find a new hotel. I won't bore you with a lengthy dialogue, suffice to say she's a Karen bitch. And she is not staying at this hotel. After about 20 minutes of fighting her, I make my way back to my sandwich. I get 2 bites in, and here we go again. The phone rings. I hop up and run to the phone and answer. It's another worker, needed a block of rooms. We're pretty empty, so I get it done no problem. I'm on the phone with him, long enough that I need to make my way over to check the pool. A sharp and bitter cold rushes up my spine and stabs into my body. I don't know if it's just the shock of the temperature change or because of something real, but I feel like I'm being watched. I grab the hotel master key and run to the pool. Between the hot tub and the pool, the room is humid and warm, constantly sits around 75. One of the few rooms where sound exists, not only because of the echo. You can hear everything in there. As I walk around and check the chairs for towels, I can hear my heartbeat. fast and anxious, trying to warm myself from the cold shock. I finish up and brace myself before walking into the hole. I sing a loud, high note. I like to hear it bounce off the walls in the water. I walk down the hall a bit to the fitness center. Simple room with basic equipment, a small trash can that the guests can throw their towels in. I walk in, check the can, walk out. To walk out and enter in the hall, I hear the familiar beat of heart. I stop. I'm not in the pool. Where did that come from? I chalk it up, just trick of the mind, and go back to the desk. I have a sandwich to finish. The rest of the check-ins go off without a hitch. Everyone gets in, and there are no issues. I change the channel from the 700 Club to AMC, playing the Green Mile. Plays at least once a day, but I don't mind that movie can make me cry every single time. Please, boss, don't put that finger on my face. Don't put me in the dark. I was afraid of the dark. Niagara Falls every time. I sit in the chair and scroll on my phone until the end of my shift. Take little notes. As there wasn't much that happened, I walk out of the office and I make my way to the door and I stop. I exhale, my goosebumps fade. My hair lays flat and my heart slows. I arrive the next day, 15 check-ins today. Mostly people still here from Christmas vacation. Pretty nice day. I stay good and busy. Between the phone calls and the check-ins, I have very little time to sit down until around 10:30. When I have the chance to really get a good look at the cameras. My eyes might be playing tricks on me. Who's that on the third floor? There's a man standing there at the far end of the hall, almost sitting on the AC unit by the window. I run to check our in-house guests to see who is up on the third floor. There's about 5 people up there, 2 families and 3 single people. Okay, maybe just someone who needed some space from family or just wanted out of their room for a bit. I sit and stare for at least 20 minutes. An unmoving man, standing there, no expression, not playing on his phone or anything, just glaring straight back at the camera. The desk bell dings, ripping me back out of the world of the unmoving man. I look up at the clock, 10:31. The next day I come in, nothing too crazy. Only a few check-ins, so a chill and quiet night. Play on my phone for the most part and chat with some of the workers who stayed here. As the day winds on, it hits about 7. Yeah, time to change the coffee. I grab the pots and march over to the kitchen. As I pour out the pots, I hear a faint singing from the second floor. I walk up to the second floor and check both ends of the hall. Nothing. But I still hear the singing. It's above me again? I debate if I should let it slide or chase it. While it's not too late, many of the workers work night shifts, so they sleep until 11. I head up in the elevator to tell them to knock it off and go to bed. And when I get there, everything is silent. It's cold and humid. There's a kind of fog rolling across the floor. That can't be right. The whole floor is dead silent. Not a sound from the AC units or from any of the 5 people staying on the floor. I step off the elevator and the chill shoots up my spine. What is going on in this chat? Nothing. Nothing is going on in the chat. Finally shows down a film. Top. I feel a mist roll over my eyes. I still don't remember everything that happened on the third floor that day. And even writing about it now, my head hurts trying to remember it. All I know is the mist came, and then suddenly I was back in the kitchen, pouring coffee pots out again. Singing was gone. All that was left was the wind outside and the soft hum of the fluorescent lights. I finish the coffee and come back to the front desk. I go down my list to check everything off. Out of the corner of my eye, I see some movement on the camera. He's back, but only for a moment, and he walks off into the stairwell. I quickly switched the camera to see where he went. I glimpse him running down the stairs as fast as he can, past the second floor. I run out to catch him on the first floor. I run down to the entrance and nothing outside either. Turn around and I see him on the complete other side of the hotel and where he was. His face on the other side of the door, not glaring anymore, smiling, beaming even. I stand there holding his gaze for as long as I can reasonably explain to my boss. When I move to get back to the front desk, his face darts away from the door. For the rest of my shift, I can't bring myself to look at the cameras. I can't convince myself to look. No matter how many things I see move or shift, how many shadows I see dart across. Thankfully, the weekend passes and nothing else happens. The cameras are clear. Not a single shape, shadow, person, no singing. I make it to Monday. Sit down in my boss's office. I must ask her about it. Hey Tracy, got a question for you. Okay, shoot. So I've been seeing some weird stuff on the cameras. Do you know if the hotel is haunted or am I just crazy? You're crazy. Really? I've been working here in this hotel for 20 years, and not once in that time have I ever heard anyone, myself included, talk about ghosts in this hotel. You're crazy. That's not possible. There's no way that no one has ever said anything about ghosts. This is a hotel. At the very least, it makes some connection to The Shining. I'm telling you right now, there's no ghosts here. If you're seeing something in the cameras, maybe go to a therapist. You're probably right. I mean, if no one else has ever mentioned it, I just shrugged, defeated, and looked at her. She looked back, her eyes darting from me to the camera screen until she finally sighs and gets up to leave. She'd only been here an hour. After that, she never spent much time around me at work. If I worked a morning shift, she would come in until the very end. And if I worked afternoon, she'd leave 20 minutes before I'd get there. I asked my coworker about it one day. He wouldn't answer. Just said that Gracie didn't talk to them much anymore. Okay, so we're finally done. Yeah, I don't know, Grimmy boy, if you're still there. Hello, I was reading like scary stories today, kind of like a very different stream. Don't know if I'm gonna do more streams like this. Kind of just wanted to do something different for once. But yeah, it's kind of like a one-off stream to do, something different for once. But overall, other than that, it's been 2 hours and kind of like 30 minutes. And I'm kind of feeling tired. And I will be clocking out. So whoever was here, I hope you enjoyed listening to me fucking struggle to read for like 2 hours at least. And I hope you have a good morning, day, night, evening, whatever you're having. I hope you have a good one. And I will see you next time. Bye bye, everybody.